Hello all my dear student friends. Welcome to this session. We are studying the subject engineering metrology. Right now we are studying the angle measuring devices and sine bar is one of them. So today let us talk about sine bar. So sine bar is nothing but a angle measuring device. So sine bar measures the angle very accurately if the angle is less than 45 degrees. In sine bar, the accuracy of the linear measurement, which is obtained with the help of the slip gauges, is utilized for accurate angle measurement. So in case of sine bar, we are utilizing the accuracy of the linear measurement, which can be obtained with the help of the slip gauges for measuring the angle accurately. So the sine bar is a simple instrument which utilizes the high degree of accuracy available for linear measurement. It is used along with the slip gauges and the surface plate for accurate angle measurement, or it is also used for setting the accurate angles. For angle setting also sine bar is used. The applications of sine bar include the measurement of taper plug gauge. So sine bar is used to measure the taper plug gauge. Okay. To set any workpiece to a given angle. If a particular workpiece is required to be set to some given angle, then that is possible with the help of the sine bar. Sine bar is also used to measure and check the lathe angle, right? So let us study the construction of the sine bar. The sine bar consists of the steel bar and two rollers. So this is one roller, this is another roller, right? So the sine bar consists of a steel bar and two rollers. These two rollers are attached to the bar at one end. This is the roller attached to the left end, this is the roller attached to the right end. But at the same time, this roller is also touching this particular surface, the top portion of the sine bar or the steel bar is also in contact with the roller. The distance between the two rollers, the nominal distance between the centers of the two rollers is fixed, and that is very accurate, and that may be 100 mm, 200 mm or 300 mm. So if you take a particular sine bar, either the distance between the rollers may be 100 mm, or it may be 200 mm, or it may be 300 mm. So the now nominal distance between the axis of rollers is exactly 100 mm, 200 mm or 300 mm, and the sine bars are specified according to this nominal distance between the two rollers as say 100 mm sine bar or 200 mm sine bar or 300 mm sine bar. Now when the rollers are brought in contact with a surface plate, so these rollers of the sine bar, if they are kept on the surface plate, the top surface of the bar is parallel to the surface plate. So this is the top surface. So the top surface will be parallel to the surface plate. So suppose this is a surface plate, right? So this flat surface is nothing but a surface plate, flat surface of the surface plate, right? And the rollers are kept on the surface plate, so automatically the rollers, the lower end of the rollers will be in contact with the flat surface of the surface plate. So in that case, the top surface of the sine bar will be perfectly parallel to the flat surface, right? So the top surface of the sine bar will be parallel to this particular flat surface on which this particular rollers are kept. Now the sine bar consists of a steel bar of two rollers. The bar is made up of high carbon, high chromium, corrosion resistant steel. The material of the sine bar is very important. The steel bar, the steel which is used as the material of the sine bar is high carbon steel and high chromium steel, and of course that is a corrosion resistant steel because this surface of the sine bar comes in contact, it is facing the relative motion, so wear and tear may cause. So in order to minimize the wear and tear, this bar is made up of such material which is corrosion resistant, and it is also suitably hardened, stabilized and precision ground. So this material is very important. It is not only corrosion resistant, but it is suitably hardened, stabilized and precisely, that is, ground to the fine accuracy and the flatness and the perfect level. The rollers are of accurate and equal diameters. The diameter of the roller is very important. It is very accurate, equal, and the location of the roller with respect to the sine bar is also very important. That is also perfect. The distance between the centers of the rollers is also perfect and accurate, and the diameter must be equal. So these rollers are attached to the bar at each end and also to the upper surface of the bar. The nominal distance between the axes of the two rollers is exactly 100 mm, 200 mm or 300 mm, and a sine bar is specified by this distance as 100 mm sine bar or 200 mm or 300 mm sine bar. When the rollers are brought in contact with the flat surface, the top surface of the bar is parallel to the flat surface. So the sine bar, when it is kept on the surface plate, so the surface plate, the top surface of the surface plate is flat. So these rollers are in contact with the top surface of the surface plate, and at that situation, in that condition, the top surface of the bar is parallel to the flat surface of the surface plate on which the rollers are kept or the sine bar is kept. All the working faces of the bar and cylindrical surfaces of the roller have surface finish of 0.2 micrometer Ra value or better. So the roughness value is something like 0.2 micrometer. So the surface finish is very high, and depending upon the accuracy of the center distance, sine bars are graded as A grade or B grade sine bar. So A grade sine bar is more accurate than the B grade sine bar. A grade A sine bars are more accurate than the grade B sine bars. So the working principle of the sine bar, let us study the working principle of the sine bar. So in case of sine bar, in order to set a given angle, one roller of the bar is placed on the surface plate. So this is the surface plate or the surface of the surface plate. So the surface of the surface plate is also perfectly flat, and it is accurately, perfectly polished. Now in order to set a given angle, one roller of the bar is placed on the surface plate. So this is one roller, it is placed on the surface plate. Actually, this working principle of the sine bar is based on the law of geometry and trigonometry. So how it is governed by the law of geometry and trigonometry, that we are going to study. So according to that, we are discussing that in order to set the given angle, one roller of the bar is placed on the surface plate. So this roller is placed on the surface plate, and a combination of slip gauges is inserted under the second roller. So this is a combination of slip gauges so as to obtain the required height h, and this height h is providing us this required angle theta. So this combination of slip gauges is inserted below the second roller so as to set the given angle. Now, according to the law of geometry or trigonometry, we know that sine theta of a right angle triangle, consider this triangle, right angle triangle. So this one, like this one. So this right angle triangle, you can see that the height is h, the hypotenuse length is l. Okay. So this sine theta is equal to opposite side of the angle. This is the angle theta. H is the opposite side, and this l is nothing but the length of the hypotenuse of the right angle triangle, right? So sine theta will be equal to h by l, small h upon capital L. Small h is the height of the slip gauges, so that is the height of the right angle triangle, this much height, and L is the length of the hypotenuse of the right angle triangle. So h by L is nothing but sine theta, or theta is equal to sine inverse h by L. So using this formula and this very simple principle of trigonometry, we can find this angle theta by using the sine bar, and that is nothing but the very simple working principle of the sine bar. Now, how to use this sine bar? Sine bar is used for setting the angles and measuring the angles also of the work pieces or the given components, right? Now the component may be larger than the sine bar, or it may be smaller than the sine bar. So there is a slight difference between the method of measurement when the component is large and when the component is small. So let us study how the angle is measured when the component is of small size, smaller than the sine bar, much smaller than the sine bar. So how we measure the angle of the component when that component is of small size, that we have to see. So this is that component whose angle we have to measure. So we have to measure this angle. This angle has to be measured, right? So this is nothing but a surface plate, surface of the surface plate, right? This is a sine bar. So the sine bar is first of all kept on the surface plate, right? So one roller will be on the surface plate, and we are using the combination of slip gauges to obtain a certain height, and this combination of slip gauges is kept below this second roller on the surface plate. Okay. So the component is placed and clamped, not only placed but it is also clamped over the top surface of the sine bar, and the sine bar is resting on a surface plate. Sine bar is resting on a surface plate. At the same time, slip gauges are inserted below one roller. A combination of slip gauges is inserted below one of the rollers, and this height of the slip gauges is selected such that the angle which will be made here will be approximately equal to the angle of the component, this angle of the component. Suppose this angle of the component is theta. So we use the combination of slip gauges such that due to this height h, the angle which is obtained here, this theta angle which is obtained, is approximately equal to this angle theta. We don't know the exact angle, we are measuring, but it should be approximately equal. So we can make, of course, approximately equal angle can be made, and this slip gauge's height can be set accordingly, right? Now next what we are doing is that before we bring the dial gauge, we will see that, we will check that the upper surface of the component becomes parallel to the surface plate. So if you set the sine bar and the slip gauges like this and keep the component on the sine bar, upper surface of the sine bar, then it will be observed that the surface of the component, upper surface of the component, will become parallel to the surface plate, right? So this is the upper surface of the component, upper surface of component, this one, okay? This is the upper surface of the component, and this is nothing but the surface of the surface plate, okay? So these two surfaces become almost parallel, these two surfaces become parallel, okay? If these two surfaces are parallel, it means our setting is correct, otherwise we have to improve our setting, okay? And now we have to bring a dial gauge along with a stand, right? Or you can also use the height gauge. So this dial gauge is fixed over a stand or a height gauge, and it is adjusted, the zero is adjusted over this surface, over some point on this particular upper surface of the job, right? And then this dial gauge is moved. First of all, we adjust the zero of the dial gauge here, and then you just move the dial gauge. Actually we have to move the stand itself along the surface plate, so it will move perfect horizontally, the stand will move perfectly in a horizontal way, right? So this dial gauge, the tip of the dial gauge will also move along the horizontal path, okay? Now when this dial gauge is moving along the upper surface of this particular job, actually what should happen is that the height of the slip gauge should be such that there should be zero deflection of this dial gauge, okay? That means this surface should be perfectly horizontal. But it is very difficult to have the combination of slip gauges exactly adjust that, it is very time consuming, so that this surface is perfectly flat. So what we are doing is that we are keeping this angle theta approximately equal to this angle theta of the job, and the height of the slip gauges is also approximately set. So in that case, there will be some deflection in the dial gauge, or there will be some change in the height, okay? And this change in the height, this deflection, let us call as dx, let us call as dx, okay? If there is no deflection of the dial indicator, we bring a dial indicator, and if this dial indicator doesn't deviate from 0, there is no deflection. So in that case we can very easily write this theta is equal to sine inverse h by L. If you want to write theta is equal to sine inverse h by L, this dial gauge, the pointer of the dial gauge should not deviate from 0. So this should be perfectly horizontal, perfectly flat and perfectly horizontal, this surface, right? And we have to adjust the height of slip gauges accordingly. So that is time consuming, okay? But if we do that, then very easily we can find the angle theta as sine inverse h by L. H is nothing but the height of the slip gauges, and L is nothing, this is L is nothing but the nominal distance between the centers of the rollers of the sine bar, right? But since this is difficult, it is difficult to adjust the combination of slip gauges, this height h perfectly. In that case there is a small deflection dx in this particular dial gauge, right? So we use this deflection dx and we find the small change in the angle, small correction in the angle d theta. So the small correction in the angle d theta will be equal to sine inverse dx upon x. Dx is the small deflection of this dial gauge or small change in height of this surface, and x is this length of the job of the component whose angle is being measured, this horizontal length of the component whose angle is being measured, right? So sine inverse dx upon x will be equal to d theta, and now the correct angle will be equal to theta plus d theta. Theta plus d theta is the angle of this particular component which is required to be measured, right? And this theta can plus d theta can be written as sine inverse h by l, this h by l, sine inverse h by l plus sine inverse dx upon x. So these two equations can be added to get theta plus d theta is equal to sine inverse h by l plus sine inverse dx upon x. So in this way, this angle of this particular component which is smaller than the sine bar, a small size component angle, can be measured with the help of the sine bar. Okay,